Even though this does resemble to VECTOR V100 Mini with just slapping two fans and the infinity mirror on front, it actually has loads of other stuff that does make this case a bit different than the V100. So this right here is Lian Li's VECTOR V150 Infinity, which comes with pre-installed two 140 fans, infinity mirror on the front, which does look outstanding from the Lian 217 Infinity, and we have 120 exhaust right here. So basically the only thing that you need is an AAO at the top. But that's not all when it comes to cooling potential, because what you can do additionally is install two 120 here on the power supply shroud and remove the SSD bracket and add two more 120 on the side, giving you much more airflow than intentionally was for a regular case this size. So it's a micro ATX case. It goes with micro ATX motherboards. It supports back connect. It supports huge graphic cards, even though we have something a bit different this time right here. And the best thing about everything is cable management at the back, GPU anti-sag bracket, which is completely adjustable and really nicely thought through. So yeah, let's deep dive into VECTOR V150 Infinity. It comes with three pre-installed fans, as already stated, but the cool thing about it is it's controlled wirelessly with L Wireless in L Connect 3, or you can sync it through a standard motherboard connection. The front perforated mesh panel around in front of the 140 fans can be easily removed. You just have to turn it to the left side and pull away from the case. That's it. So the three pre-installed fans, as stated, we have two 140 30mm fans on front. They spin up from 0 to 1900 RPM. Airflow is 116.53 CFM, static pressure is 3.32 millimeters HO, and the noise level at maximum is 33.8. The rear one is 120, 28, max RPM is 1800, CFM is 60.81. 2.53 millimeters HO for static pressure, and maximum noise level is 26 decibels. Inside we have a built-in hub for pre-installed fan and front panel, so the built-in hub can sync the fans and front panel lighting directly with motherboard for control through standard RGB and fan software, or switch to the hub for wireless mode when paired with L Wireless controller, which is sold separately, but it still enables you lighting effects and fan behavior to be managed through that L Connect 3. The dedicated GPU anti-sag bracket has three ways of adjusting, so you can slide the part left to right, then you can push it to the furthest part, to the left or to the right, depending on the position of the GPU fans, and then you can raise it up or down. It's all done with one thumb screw at the bottom in the power supply shroud for raising it up or down, and two screws just slightly untie them to adjust the angle, well, basically the position where it will hold the GPU. The good thing about this case, and if you decide not to go with two fans on the power supply shroud, is that you have an opening for the cable, as I did right here. So this is a nice cable pass-through that I'm really digging. As I stated in the prior reviews, this is what some cases are missing. This one has it, and it makes a cleaner cable management and more free space for PWM, addressable RGB, and all the other connections at the bottom of the motherboard, including USB 2.0. So cooling support, we're having three 120 at the top or two 140. Two 140 are pre-installed at the front, one 120 as an exhaust. You can place two on the side, 120, and two 120 on the power supply shroud. When we're talking about radiator support, you can go with 240 or 360 at the top with maximum thickness of 65 millimeters. It supports mini ITX and micro ATX as back connect. The max GPU length is 400 millimeters, and for the storage, you can go with three SSDs at the back, two on the right side of the motherboard and one behind the motherboard, and you can also additionally install hard drive in position 1 or 2 depending on the length of the power supply. So if the power supply depth is under 150 millimeters, hard drive or SSD can be installed at position 1 or 2. The second position is really further away inside this angled part, so you do need to take that also into consideration. Now for the cable management, what I stated, you have cable tie points and velcro straps. You have three velcro straps and you have bunch of cable tie points, which give you an option to use zip ties to tie up the cables for 8-pin EPS, at the top for any type of PWM adjustable RGB headers, and at the bottom part right above the power supply, which give you additional points just to secure the cables to have them in position. It is definitely longer than the VECTOR V150 Mini, but it's definitely smaller altogether, comparing it to Lian Li 217 Infinity. So that's something you need to take into consideration just to give you an idea about this. So when you take the V100 Infinity and V100R Mini, comparing it to Lian Li 217 Infinity, CPU cooler height goes 163.5 millimeters, comparing it to Lian Li 217 Infinity, which is 180. So that kind of needs to be taken into consideration as well. Now, what I enjoyed about this case is actually the visual aspect, because the front panel does really create an outstanding visual presence on your desk. Now, that doesn't obstruct the airflow, because the airflow is specifically coming inside just from the fans, so you don't have any side intake, which is usually the case in some fully mesh front part. But then again, we have enough I/O ports here, so you have the power on button, reset button, you have 3.5mm jack for your headset and microphone, USB Type-C and USB 3.0, but you see that from the close-up. Now, why am I mentioning this? Because Lian Li did something that I don't think any other manufacturer did. They, well, not in this scenario, but in general, they're pushing this. They have specific cables for those two connections, so Type-C and Type-A, because they're nicely slim and flexible, so you don't have to worry about connecting those, and I actually did try. Now, in this scenario, I went with a different GPU. This is PNY GeForce RTX 5080 Slim, and I wanted to go with this card just to see how this card in general and this case perform all together, including the HydroShift 2 LCD C360CL. So, taking everything into consideration, it's time to go with benchmarks. And of course, I'm running AMD Ryzen 9 7900X3D just to give you some more comparison when we're going deeper into benchmarks. So, taking that into consideration, we have AIDA 64 Extreme Edition. CPU goes up to 83 degrees, clock speed 4775 MHz, which both are quite solid, and I can't say anything against that. And then we go with the GPU. So, I'm going to repeat, PNY RTX 5080 Slim. It's wider card, a bit, I would say, normal dimensions. It's not that long, but it's definitely slim, as the name says. So we're talking about 2 slots. But when we're talking about cooling, this is something fascinating. So in this case, it goes up to 64 degrees, which is outstanding. It might reach 65 in some instances, but I'm giving you this idea because it's a smaller card. It has a smaller passive cooler, has 2 huge fans, but still manages to cool down the GPU and still keep quite solid thermals. Because when you take into consideration other GPUs that are much thicker, and you have 3 fans in RTX 5080 model, what you get is 64 at maximum, depending on the case, but it can go lower at 58. So this is quite good. And then we go with Cinebench. 10 runs on average. We have thermals at 76 degrees, which is brilliant. Clock speed is 4985, and Cinebench score goes up to 26,742. So basically, all in all, what I can say about this case, you're having the smaller chassis, nice front panel in terms of Lian Li 217 Infinity, so it copies that part, I can't argue with that, but still keeps that visual aspect outstanding, and I'm really loving how they incorporated the logo at the bottom part. And then you have this infinity mirror on the front with infinity mirrors in the middle of all 3 fans. And then we have this angled part, which kind of creates a better airflow for the GPU, because it directs everything towards the GPU from the bottom fan. Nothing goes into the power supply shroud, because actually the power supply has the bottom intake quite nicely done, and you have a dust filter at the bottom, dust filter at the top part, which is quite easy on pegs and easily removable. The only thing that you need to use a screwdriver apart from the regular components is the tempered glass, which I would say is quite alright, just to have the tempered glass fixated, and that's it. The back panel is also on pegs, so all in all, I'm quite satisfied with the case. They did some additional stuff, like the hard drive cages, the positions and stuff like that. Anti-sag bracket opening here for the PCI cable, front panel, 3 pre-installed fans, and just the case brings joy when you finally build it and you have a bit smaller case, visually quite appealing, and altogether nice price. So the price will be shown in the link in the description. So if you're watching the video in some near future or any time after the release of this video, you get to see the proper price. So yeah, that's why I usually do that. But in general, I'm really digging the whole configuration and everything all together. So I'll put the links for the Lian Li VECTOR V150 Infinity, as well as the HydroShift 2 LCD C360CL if you want to pair it up, and eventually this GPU. So a PNY GeForce RTX 5080 Slim that actually does kind of fit nicely here all together. That's it for today, guys. If you like the build, if you have anything to comment on it, or do let me know if you would go with something different inside this chassis, leave your comments down below and I'll try to respond as quickly as possible. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell, and I'll see you quite shortly in a new one. Bye bye.